Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Janae Chanel and I make art, fashion, and sustainable content. I'm also kind of a new small business owner. So today on my channel, I wanted to bring you guys a little bit of a different video. And I just wanted to make a quick video just walking through the steps that I'm taking this route about starting my small business. I feel like it's important to make this kind of video because, for one, a lot of small business owners, they already have a lot of success, so the things that they kind of focus on in their videos might be a little bit different than someone who is just starting out like myself. And I also think it's important just to kind of show you guys how I'm doing things, just in case you yourself want to start a business or have an idea similar to mine. Also, a little disclaimer, this is nowhere near like advice or like educational anything like that. I'm just a learning and growing small business owner, and that's really about it. Also, just a little bit of background information if you're new here. My name is Janae and I went to fashion school with a minor in sustainability, and now I just focus on art and other things and my small business. One of the main things that a lot of small business owners are going to tell you that I do agree with and I think is very true is to do your research. Now, when I say do your research, that can mean a few different things. For some people, doing your research is just like scrolling on social media, seeing what other business owners are doing, seeing what kind of posts are doing well, which I do agree with and I do think is a great way to research. For others, research can mean literally looking at business books and people who own businesses, writing books, things like that, articles, research. I went to school, so I'm kind of like a mix of both. And I kind of, for example, I think it's important to always have a mix of different kind of research methods. Like, yes, I read some business books. There's one that I'm specifically reading right now. It's called How to Sell Anything Online. It is by, I think her name is pronounced Anita Sarkar. I'm not entirely sure, I'm gonna be honest. But she's a UK business owner, and I know her because of Hero Packaging, which is a sustainable packaging company. She's a great business owner, and she wrote this book. Honestly, so many people will tell you so many different books that'll help you get the mindset that you're looking for, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, Learn How Not to Give a Fuck, all those kind of books. But this book to me is one that actually is helpful. Like, you can actually read it, look at the text, listen to what she's saying, and it makes sense, like, without overcomplicating things. For example, let me show you guys. Now, I personally, while I'm reading books, I like to go in and highlight. I'm reading this one on my phone. I just got the ebook version of it, but I definitely will probably get the physical book, and I just didn't want to wait, to be honest with you. But I definitely recommend the physical book if you're able to get that. But I personally go through and I highlight the different important parts in the book. I do that on like nearly every page because I think it's important to, firstly, yes, read the entire book, but also go back and notate what you read and kind of like familiarize it with yourself and get that kind of in your brain more. So you get what I'm saying. So yes, I definitely recommend research such as reading business books that are actually helpful, not the useless kind. Doing some social media research, literally just go on your social media channels and see what's doing well. It's so easy. I usually use Instagram, mostly their reels and their carousel posts, because I feel like those are what's doing the best right now. And I always use Pinterest. Pinterest is my best friend, my favorite social media. I love Pinterest. It's just literally vibes, like no nonsense, not anything crazy, just vibes. So those are my personal favorite social medias. There are 10 more that you can go through to do your research, but yes, research is one of the most important steps. Another form of research before we cut off to the next topic that I forgot to mention is going to be looking at other artists. Listen, I will never ever, I'm an artist myself, so I would never ever say go look at that artist and copy what they're doing. Don't do that. Artists are artists for a reason, and you're not looking at their work to copy what they're doing. But I do think it's okay to find inspiration, and even if you have similar styles or like you feel like people who like their art might also like your art, even if they're different styles, that's what I mean by other artist research. See what they're doing, and if you like it, like literally just interact, make artist friends if you can, which I think is also another good kind of way to do a little bit of research. Also, don't overdo it. Don't like overstimulate yourself. You don't have to do research every day. You don't have to over research, but I do think it is beneficial from time to time. Alrighty, so the next thing that I do to kind of grow my small business will be to focus on having a clear branding. I'm not gonna lie, I have been struggling with this a tiny bit, just across like everything. Like, I'll have clear branding for my art brand or clear branding for my consulting brand, but not necessarily it just kind of gets a little bit tricky. But clear branding is very, very important because of course you want your audience to associate your art with your brand. Or if they see something like in real life, it might remind them of your brand because of your branding, if that makes sense. If you don't know what branding is, it's basically like your business if it were a person, if that kind of makes sense. Giving personality to your business, using the same kind of styles like fonts and images and colors to give a clear message, and people will know, like, if you use the same green, brown, and black, they know that it's your brand because you use those specific colors with these specific fonts and images. So yes, branding is very, very important. I think that it's something really important to focus on and kind of make clear. So that's another thing that I am really, really, really passionate about, and I think is important when trying to start your business. When you're looking at your branding, also think about how that branding can relate to your target market. If you have a target market in mind, you're gonna wanna make your branding, of course, representative of you and your brand, but think about how it'll translate. Put yourself in the consumer's shoes. Would you click on your post, you know? Would you think that your branding is cute? You have to kind of like wear both hats at the same time, if that makes sense. Another thing that I'm doing to grow my small business is creating as much as I can. Now, when I say that, of course, if you have the ability to make art every single day, you should do it. I personally don't necessarily have that ability. I make art as much as I can while not overly doing it and burning myself out, which I also think is important. But yes, create as much as you can, as frequently as you can. Keep yourself in practice. And it'll also, if you are an artist, most likely art is what brings you peace of mind. Like, once you sit down and you start doing your art, like, that's just you in your own little art bubble. I recommend that because you have to remember, even if I do end up having an amazing, beautiful, blown up brand, I have to remember where I started. That heart of your brand is going to be what gives you that kind of edge and longevity in the long run. So yes, definitely create as much as you can, but remember not to burn yourself out. Know when to take breaks, know when to kind of take a step back. Don't get too caught up in it. That's kind of the art process as well. So, you know, take that and do with it what you will. Another thing that I'm doing to grow my small business is kind of sit down and think of product ideation. One thing that Anita mentioned in her book was how so many people are going to copy your work. Like, at the end of the day, we live in a digital media age. You can come up with the most unique, amazing product. If you come up with the most amazing product and it blows up and everyone loves it, you are bound to have copycats and competitors because they will probably do something similar to you to try to have a business as well. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, so I wouldn't think of it that way. I would think, wow, I have such an amazing product, like someone wants to copy me. It's important to remember that no one can copy you. You are the only you that there is on the planet. So people can try, people can copy, people can mimic, but you need to make sure that you have something that stands out so people know your brand differentiated from the copycats. While you're doing product ideation, I do think it's important to kind of think about what's trending, what people are using, and also the kind of target market that you have, your ideal customer. What do they like to do? For example, I make a lot of like digital stickers, digital art. My ideal customer is probably someone similar to me who scrolls on Pinterest, spends most of their time maybe creating, crafting, reading books, learning, also maybe a fashion girly, someone in school possibly who's taking notes and wants some fun kind of stickers to add to, you know, their already exhausting college notes. Trust me, I've been there. But when I think of product ideation, I think of something that those people will need to use. Also get creative. For example, I feel like I've been focusing a lot on like stickers and prints, but I didn't realize that I need to kind of switch gears a little bit. Well, not necessarily switch gears, but also consider different forms of business that I can do. For example, yes, I can make stickers and prints, but what is something that someone will use that I could put my art on? For example, a book sleeve is something that I'm thinking of creating. I could put my art on a book sleeve. That's something that somebody that is in my target market would probably use because they're my target market, if that kind of makes sense. So when you're thinking of product ideation, be creative. Don't just think, oh, this person made, I don't know, a phone case, let me make a phone case. Because there are a billion people making phone cases. And it's nothing wrong if you do want to make a phone case, but just think about your product ideation, your brand, and how it will stand out amongst its competitors. One of the biggest things that I'm doing as well to kind of start and grow my business, it's to release the idea that everything needs to be perfect. If you know me and you've been here for a while, which most of you probably have not, but if you know me in real life, you'll know that I've tried to start a business quite a few different times. Even back when I was in high school, I was literally selling cookies in school. I've had purse businesses, bag businesses, jewelry. I've done so many different things. Honestly, you can probably see most of it on my channel because I've made YouTube videos around them as well. But the idea of perfection can kind of it'll kind of like drain your brain, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I was so focused on being perfect in things that if something wasn't perfect, I wouldn't post it, or I wouldn't put it out there, or I would see it and I would just procrastinate because I didn't think it was perfect. Letting go of the idea of perfection not only gives you that creative freedom that your brain needs, but it also most likely makes you kind of rethink, I'm not doing this because I want to be perfect. I'm doing this because I love this, you know? So yes, let go of the idea that you need to be perfect, because you don't. Nobody's perfect at the end of the day. Even the most gigantic business that you know of started small. So just keep that in mind. Another thing that I think is important is to move your eyes from a screen, go outside, and get some real life inspiration. For example, and this might not work for everyone, but I do think it is helpful to kind of, touch some grass, if you will. For example, sometimes I like to go outside and I'll just sit in a park, look at the trees, look at nature. Or if you don't like to do something like that, you could even go to like a marketplace, walk around. You don't even necessarily have to shop, but you can get inspiration from, the things that you like and what you like to be around. So I think it's really important to make sure you go out physically and kind of get inspiration in a real life scenario, not just from what other people are doing, from research and from the internet. Please touch some grass. I do it all the time, and I'm not perfect either, but it is important to kind of bring yourself back down to the ground, be grounded, and just give yourself that inspiration, even if you don't feel like it's there. Yes, I am an earth sign, so it might be a little easier for me to kind of be grounded than others, I don't know. But we are all human beings on the planet Earth. One of the other things that I'm doing to kind of grow my small business, as you can probably tell, is showing everything. I have been trying my best to kind of build in public. If you know, you know. You can watch the beginning of this series and you'll know where that kind of inspiration comes from. But I do think it's important to show everything, show your growth, show your mistakes, show your successes. I just want to show everything, not only for myself to look back and document it and hopefully one day just realize, wow, this is where I started, but also because at the end of the day, you could always help somebody else. So yes, show everything as much as you can. Even if you're not necessarily a content creator, you can still have the content created without posting it, if that makes sense. You can still create videos, have them in your personal library just to look back on and create memories. Show everything so that you can not only help yourself, but help others as well. One of the last and most important things I am doing to kind of grow my small business is to keep going. I, as you know, and as I've mentioned, have tried to have a small business so many different times in my life, over and over and over again, and I've given up. I'm not gonna lie, I've given up on them time and time again. I'm not giving up this time. I'm going to keep going, and you are too, especially if you plan to have a small business. Comparison is the thief of joy. As you probably know, if you're looking at other small business owners, they are more successful, they have an audience, they kind of have everything figured out, or so it seems. That doesn't make you any less, that doesn't make you behind. Everyone is on their own time frame, doing their own thing. Even if you have success at one point and a failure at another point, just keep going. Don't give up on yourself, don't give up on your dream, and remember why you started in the first place. So yes, if you are deciding to start a small business like me, one of the most important things that I would advise you to do, that I'm doing myself, is to keep going. Alrighty, so that's gonna be mainly everything on my list. At least for this video, I might make another one of these with different ideas, but these are the strongest factors that I'm doing to help grow my small business. This is a little sticker cameo here. These are my stickers that I made. Aren't they so cute? They're so cute. Yes, I made a little bit of not a script, but I wrote out the ideas that I want to talk about for this video, which I do recommend if you're doing a video like this as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful. And if you are going to be starting your small business, or if you are already a small business owner and just need a reminder, just keep in mind why you started your small business and what you're doing to grow. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and stay around on our journey. And I will see you guys again in our next video.